What's going on, everybody? My name is Matthew and I go by the name Swayze here on YouTube, and we're back again with another ridiculous standard build. Today we're trying to break Mondrak, and we're doing it though in a way that will definitely surprise you. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, today's deck is called Mondrak Reanimator, and that's because we're taking my two favorite things and combining them into one. We've got tokens, we've got reanimation, and we're slamming them together for this absolute beauty, revolving around Mondrak, a creature that allows us to double up every token we generate the entire time this is on the field, which is absolutely insane. And it pairs nicely in Reanimator because we run Dollhouse of Horrors, a card that if you tap for 1 mana, get back a creature from your graveyard to the field. But this, creature's downside is going to be a 1/1 token version of itself, which might sound like a bad thing, but if we're having Mondrak on the field to get back 2 tokens instead, could be very good, especially with Consuming Blob. Now, Consuming Blob, if we can get 2 of these back to the battlefield with Mondrak on the field, well, on the back end, we also get another token. On the end step, we create an ooze counter that's going to be as sizable as however many types of cards are in our graveyard, which we do run every type of card in this deck, making these oozes very sizable. Now, these oozes are also going to come in doubled, potentially, as long as Mondrak's on the field. So it can get out of hand really fast. Not to mention, Dreadfeast Demon on the top end can sack some of these tokens on the end step as well. Dreadfeast Demon sacks a creature on the end step, creates a copy of itself. Now, this copy does the same thing on that end step, and so on and so forth, creating multiple copies. Now, when it's creating 2 at a time, can get pretty wild. So you can see how this works with, reanimation meets tokens. It's a really sweet, fun list. Not to mention, we have great ways to fill up the graveyard. Shigeki and Old Rutstein not only fill up the graveyard, but help ramp us as well. Not to mention, Old Rutstein creates a token of some sort, whether it's treasure, blood, or creature token, every single turn, and it's doubled with Mondrak. Now, other ways to fill up the graveyard, we have Hostile Negotiations as well as Liliana. And then we have some other really nice support tools along the way to help keep us alive and gain some life. So the deck was a lot of fun, played actually pretty well, and I think you guys are going to enjoy these games. They were pretty amazing. But before we jump into those, just want to say, be sure to show this video some love, show Arena some love, give this video a like, subscribe. It helps out more than you guys might think, and I'd really appreciate it. But with that being said, enjoy the games, and we'll see you at the end. Peace out. All right, let's jump into game number 1. Huge shout out goes to the MTG Arena's official YouTube channel. Thank you so much for having us back on for another video. I do appreciate it very much. And today's build is going to be an absolute blast. We are playing a Reanimator deck and a Reanimator deck that meets tokens, my two favorite things in the entire world. So let's have some fun today, man. Opening up against mono red though, going second. Hopefully Life of Tashiro here pops off the top. I guess we should play this land just in case we hit a Shigeki. We might regret not having any green. Need a 2-drop here though. Tashiro would be ideal. And if we don't get a 2-drop, Gix Command would be the next best thing here. All right, another land. Starting off a bit slow here, but if they don't play another creature, I guess Liliana's removal will be really, really nice. Double the lands, we like to see that. My deck does have things that, ping us for damage, but they, my deck does offer things that gain me life too. So there is a chance we get back into this late, but we'll see. Definitely going with the Liliana here so we can get rid of the Swift Spear. Stop the bleeding here a little bit. And you think you can... Hopefully with that bad Reckless Impulse, they run out of gas here. We'll see. That's fine. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. I am actually going to go with... Is it Negotiations or is it Old Rutstein? That's the question right now. Do we take 3 damage or do we go... I think the Rutstein's got to be the play, right? Because it's a body that we can block something with haste with, right? Would really like to get Mondrak down, but the problem is we don't have double white, so no Mondrak yet. All right, we get a blood token, which we might end up using. We'll pass the turn back to the opponent here. We got a Dollhouse in the yard. Phoenix Chick goes over the top, unable to block that. That's unfortunate. And it gets to a 3/1. Exile library, top of card next turn. May play that card. Okay, it's a land. And only 1 more card in hand we haven't taken account for, which honestly feels pretty good. We've really haven't taken too much damage just yet. Let's get rid of one of these Mondraks. We don't need to. All right, we do find a white source. All right, another token, a creature token, helpful. Do we take a look at the opponent's hand here and then take 3 damage to do something else? I don't think so. I don't think that's a very good idea. Is there a Wandering Emperor in here? There's not. Just thinking about maybe getting a Wandering Emperor to gain its life, but but then again, at the same time, getting a Gix command could really change the dynamic of this game as well. But you know what? We got to try to close, right? Sorry, we're just talking to myself out loud here, trying to figure out what the best line here is. And I think what it is really just smash them. Let's see if we can smash them before they smash us. That's going to be the play. And a Festivities, that's fine. Down to 5. Double up on our land there a little bit, which is helpful, but not amazing. Oh man, I could be really risking it for the biscuit here if I use the Gix Cruelty of Gix to get a Gix command. I take 3, go down to 2, we go down to 1. Anything off the top that deals damage, we're done for. So I think instead we try to just survive this 1 turn, create 2 more blobs, and just close the game out. So let's try that. So we attack through with everything here, taking them down to potentially lethal next turn, and we create 2 more lethal bombs and just hope that they can't deal 5 damage over the top, which I don't think they can. Lightning Strike is one of the best things they could pull here. That's still not enough, and that's GG's. Let's go. Taking out mono red, even with a very slow start, I will contribute a lot of that wins to the fact that the opponent had a slow start as well. Not too many creatures on board, you know, bad impulse, but that was a good game. I'll take it. All right, a great way to kick off the video, taking down mono red. Obviously, you know, getting the life into Shiro might have been pretty helpful in that matchup. We didn't find it. Also, we just played another game that we did in fact win, but you guys will not see, unfortunately, because our opponent did DC immediately. They played their first land drop and then completely roped out and got DC'd or something like that. So not going to be in the video. Contemplating the hand currently. 2 landers are scary, but I do have Shigeki. But the problem with that is the fact that Shigeki may be coming in on turn 3. And if that's the case, we're in trouble. So I really hope we find that 3rd land drop so we can curve into the old Rutstein, or even better, get Shigeki down on 2. It's kind of a tall order though. We'll see. I do run 25 lands in this build, so you never know. Just in case we get to Shiro, I guess, to play this Forest/Swamp first. I like our hand though. We've got things to fill up the yard, create tokens, consuming blob. It's all good stuff. Oh wow, we really did find our 2-drop. That was really clutch. Okay, Shigeki coming in. The curve's looking so much nicer now. Now we've got to decide either, you know, old Rutstein or to pull the Shigeki back on 2 here to get the extra land. Either way pumps us up hopefully into a curve where we get the consuming blob down early. The Currents is interesting. I do wonder here what they would take if had the opportunity. Do they steal the blob because it's the biggest creature, or do they steal the dollhouse because it's our reanimation spell? Who knows? I'm gonna go with the Rutstein though. I think the Rutstein on 3 as opposed to the Shigeki pulling back a land is not much of a contest. I think Rutstein is a little bit better. No attacks. An 0-4 wall in front of us is going to stop any form of damage getting through. I would imagine they're going to trigger the Concealing Curtains. Most people do on turn 3, but you never know. All right. Now, of course, we hope they take either the Mondrak or the Blob because the Dollhouse gets both of those back. And it'd be an easy fix, but you got to imagine Dollhouse is probably going here. Which, if the Dollhouse goes, we will have to activate Shigeki at some point and pull it back from the graveyard to our hand. Because Shigeki's ability to channel, we can return X target non-legendary cards from the graveyard to our hand, which does include that Dollhouse. All right. I mean, we're working our way up to some big consuming blob action, but I may want to do that Shigeki play. I'm telling you, that might be a better play because I mean, it's not a better play. I do believe the Mondrak into consuming blob is probably the better play, but if we don't hit a 5th land drop, that may not happen. You know what? Let's do it. Mondrak's the better play. Let's be honest. I have a hard time being honest with myself. Sometimes I want to do the cooler play, and I try to talk myself into doing the more explosive thing, but could get me in trouble most of the time. Because right there, I did want to play Toshiro, pull back Shigeki, follow that up with the following turn to get back the dollhouse. It's just a lot of setup that I didn't necessarily need to be doing. All right, we will double block here. We may lose Mondrak to some shenanigans, but you never know. Is it like in a braid maybe? I guess that's something they could be running. I'm trying to think of what sort of Grixis mid-range deck burn spells they may have. It's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, brother. That's actually really good. But we did find a treasure there off of that. I guess I should have considered that as a possibility. I did not, and I pay for that. But it's kind of a double-edged sword for the opponent here because they did just make my consuming blob absolutely massive. So hopefully we just keep smashing away. I guess I should have considered Brotherhood's End. I don't know why I didn't. It didn't even cross my mind. I was thinking play with fire, a braid. None of my none of my brain cells were telling me, hey, Brotherhood's End. Well played. And that's why, honestly, you should really just consider the shenanigans. Even if you can't think of what those shenanigans might be, just know that they clearly have something if they're willing to attack in a spot like that. But that's what I get. We find a dollhouse though. That's so clutch. But I'm actually gonna go ahead and drop a consuming blob because it is the better play for now. We'll go with the dollhouse maybe next turn. Hopefully finding another land next turn. That way we can trigger the dollhouse right away. The opponent had to exile a handful of cards too to play the March because they are struggling to hit the land drops there. So that worked out pretty nicely for us. Another little good win. Again, didn't quite get the reanimation stuff off, but the opponent was struggling again with that land. If I had gotten a dollhouse down next turn though, we had plenty of things like Mondrak to bring back, and then we would have been doubling up on the tokens there with the consuming blob. So solid game again. Let's go. Man, sometimes you walk into it, huh? I'm still a little bit embarrassed about that Brotherhood's End play. Not bad by the opponent there. They get to go first. I've got a great start again. I'm gonna keep easy enough. Hopefully Shigeki gets to fill up the graveyard a little bit. Shigeki's ability is obviously a really nice consolation prize to not having an old Rutstein on 3, being able to pull it back, fill up the graveyard. Let's just hope the opponent going first, they don't have mono red. Mono red's always tough to beat going second. You see a green source, okay. Is it mono green though, or is it something else? Beast Caller? Generous Visitor, okay. Very cool. So we're gonna see a Selesnya enchant deck, I would imagine, but you never know. I mean, we've only seen 2 green sources come down, so we're not sure yet, but yep, it is gonna be Selesnya. So Selesnya enchants. I don't necessarily love this matchup for us, if I'm being honest, now that I'm thinking about it. Not really. And the reason why is because everything on their field typically grows very tall. A lot of 1/1 counters being thrown around. We go a little bit more wide, so I don't know. I'm interested to see how this goes. I wish we maybe ran Terra Sunder, obviously, at this point, but we don't, so. Ossification, there goes Shigeki. Unfortunate. And in a way that's not, you know, ideal to us, because if Shigeki had died, that would count as a creature and an enchantment in the graveyard to pump up the consuming blob. But because they went a non-traditional route of exiling, we actually don't get any benefits at all. So that's tough. Next turn we had the Mondrak, but that's just, you know, that's not to say they don't have another ossification. Yeah, I don't think this is going to be the greatest matchup for us. I'm going to be honest. Liliana is pretty cool, but Do we care that much right this moment? Not really. Yeah, not really. Let's get Mondrak down. I think that's a better play for now. If anything, they're going to exile it anyway, so not, you know, not having mana open or creatures on the field to give indestructibility to Mondrak typically is a concern of mine, but not in this matchup because indestructibility does not matter. Another Jukai Naturalist makes things extremely inexpensive. They should be able to play the rest of their hand out here, I would imagine, or at least close to it. Borrowed time for 1 mana. Yep, there's that exiling effect we were talking about. Not able to do anything about that. Yep, this is just, unfortunately, a little bit of an outclassing situation in matchups. I know the blob is just O1s here, but it's a very expensive card, and I would like to get it down on curve and use the O1 that we create to chump block here. And even if these grow, yeah, we should be able to survive at least another turn. And then next turn I could drop down Liliana to minus and then Shigeki as a blocker as well. We'll see. Couple of 0-1 blobs though, not very helpful, I'd say. Another visitor is actually one of the better things we could have seen there. Glad that happened. All right, the best we can do is that little chump block. We have to keep the blob alive. That's pretty helpful. All right, we already know they're going to take out the 1-1, which not the best, but I could have +2, taken out a card here, maybe dropped a card, gotten this to at least a sizable amount where we can make a decent block. But I think it's better to just go the route we just did, make some chump blocks. Seed of the Empire. We'll see what happens. And now the Hallowed Haunting's popping off. This is probably a wrap, guys. We probably lost this one. Like I said though, I don't really necessarily think this was the greatest matchup for us though, if I'm being honest. All good. Ossification. Taking out, I would imagine, the original Consuming Blob. They swing through for, oh, flying now. Yeah, that's game. Good game. On to the next one. Tough. Selesnya Enchants, though, still doing the thing, huh? Haven't seen this deck in a minute, so good on him. All right, well, that wasn't ideal. I would like to see that matchup a few different ways, though. I'd like to see maybe if we had some Tashiros, Gix commands, things like that. I would like to see how that would have went differently, but not bad. The opponent gets to go first. Opening hand here is definitely not keepable. Gonna take a mulligan on this bad boy. This is better for sure. I definitely could see us keeping this. Again, I think the blob probably the card we want to be dropping here. We have 4 of, so let's drop the blob. Okay, got some good 2 and 3 drops here. The curve's looking nice now. We are against potentially Golgari though, which could be some really, really big gnarly creatures. So I don't think the Tashiro is going to be super helpful here. Let's go instead with the Shigeki to ramp ourselves up. Cruelty of Gix actually could be really nice here if we can get it down early enough, because we could potentially steal whatever they want to reanimate. Looks like they've got the Fable down, so we know they're trying to reanimate. Okay, that's very interesting because we draw ourselves into a Liliana. A Liliana minus, I mean, if we hit the 2-2 would be fantastic, but I don't think that's the play. I don't think it's the play because they'd probably just sack the Gorge or attack through, kill Liliana, and they'd probably end up having, you know, treasures enough so to make the reanimation stuff happen. I don't know. They drop a red source, but have another. No further plays from the opponent, but having an insect is one of the better things we could have hit there to make some good blocks. They don't choose to put the insect in front. Brotherhood's End? No. Alana. Surprised they let the insect survive there. That's going to be a chump blocker we can use later, which is pretty helpful. They play Halana post-combat too, which is very interesting choice. Huh. Here's what we're gonna do. Here's what we're gonna do. I think we drop Tashiro. Take out the adaptive. We Liliana minus and put them in a really tough spot here because they're not gonna want to use up Halana obviously here. So they sack the Scrap Gorger. So no more exiling of my graveyard, which is great news. And then they get a 2/2 off the Fable though, which is what is really tricky here. And they're gonna unload their hand, so the plus from the Liliana is not gonna help us too much either. This is gonna get tricky, guys. This is gonna get very tricky. Very tricky. Gotta let that go. Gotta let that go. We hit a land. We can get down the cruelty now. There's nothing to -1/1 on here, so we're gonna go ahead and just gain the 2 life. Definitely could be relevant. And we're gonna absolutely go digging here, and we're gonna try to find a Gix command. It's the only thing I think will help us here at the moment. And no attacks into the opponent here. We'll let them have whatever they want to do. They're probably going to keep creating these little beasts though, which is really, really frustrating. Because if they're sizable enough, they're going to be hard to get rid of, especially with the Gix command. They're spreading the damage out actually though. They're going to minus and do some damage to my creatures. All right, that means they lose Luca. I definitely can dig that. Dang, Luca's voice is kind of gnarly. And they plus the 7/7. This could be really good for us, guys. This could be really good for us. Wow, this could be so good for us. Let's get back our blob. Oh, this is money in the bank, guys. Money in the bank. Here we go. It's a good card, but hey, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take whatever we can get here, you know? I'll take whatever we can get here. We're gonna absolutely kill each of these. Clear out the board. Imagine though we were left with an ooze popping off 4 5s at a time. That's tough. Hopefully we can get this rolling though. If they drew another kill spell here, that would be a little unfortunate. Let's go ahead and try to find something that's playable. I know taking 3 is not the smartest thing in the world in this matchup. I want to give my creatures lifelink. I really, really do. But at the same time, I also want to just... It's probably Mondrak, right? It's probably Mondrak because we're going to get the consuming blob next turn. And if we can Mondrak that, we're going to run away with the game. But it's really, really risky. All right, so that's going to proliferate. Draw them a card. That's fine. Dollhouse is clutch. My graveyard. Bring back the blob. Mondrak down. And we end our turn. Now the opponent has a tough decision here because they do have a Vraska kill here. Do they take out the Mondrak or they take out the blob? No matter which way they slice it though, we're getting whatever they kill back with the Dollhouse of Horrors, which is great. I was hoping it was going to be the blob, but they take the Mondrak. Fair enough. They go for the throat. Okay, that's fine. The Dollhouse of Horrors changes the complete landscape of this game though, so being able to just keep coming back over and over again is going to be very helpful. So we're going to actually crack this for some land. Get this into play. We start off with the Dollhouse. I'm sorry, the blob, because the Mondrak is irrelevant if there's nothing to duplicate. Right? Not gonna lie, a little nerve-wracking with this little amount of health, but we are gonna keep creating 5/6s nonetheless. Never mind, they have another go for the throat potentially here. They do, and they choose to go for the copy, leaving their Vraska alive. Actually, not a bad idea, but you did leave the original copy of the blob. So I'm curious to see how this goes for them. Just to minus anyways on Vraska. That's really strange. All right. If they were intending to kill the blob anyways, why not take it out to go for the throat on the first go and let Vraska just die? Because it was going to die anyways. I don't know. Guess it doesn't matter. But anyways, GG's. We had lethal, we had the dollhouse, we were going to start reanimating things at instant speed and just smacking them. So good stuff. That one was a fun game. That one came down to the wire, which is always a good time. A little stressful, I'm not gonna lie, but happy we got the W. Opening hand is money. Looking good with the mana, looking good with the Toshiro into blob into, yeah, this is solid. Very solid. Man, as of the recording of this, I don't know when it's going to come out, but as the recording of this, there's some new cards obviously coming out very shortly, and I'm super excited, man. The new drop is coming soon. Can't wait for, you know, early access and all that stuff, and just playing some new cards. The new battle cards look so much fun. Cannot wait. All right, we got a really good start here with the Toshiro. It's going to have some really solid targets. We're going to take out the Might first because it has the ability to protect other things and give additional toxic. So killing that's going to be absolutely key. Otherwise, if we go for a second -1/1 on something else later, after this loses its summoning sickness, they're just going to be able to protect their stuff. So, hey, we draw out a Tamiyo safekeeping. I'll take it. No worries. No worries. A card out of the hand. That means one less threat on the board. So we'll take it. Let's see if we can get another card out of their hand. I mean, 2 Gix commands too is just absolutely buttery smooth. We love that. Another Tamiyo safekeeping would be great. I'll take it. But no safekeeping. Let's go obvious choice here. The only one we've got, Shigeki. It's got a great, you know, 1/3 body. It's a great size to make a block against the chorus here, but it does obviously regenerate itself with another 1/1. Ooh, that also makes it tough to block, which we can't afford to do. I guess in hindsight, if we end up pulling the Gix command, we might as well have maybe blocked that, but who knows? Who knows how this is actually going to end up playing out? Let's go with Mondrak. Little Mondrak action. And then we'll probably Gix command, and it looks like maybe we might get away with just being able to force them to sacrifice their greatest powered creature and putting some 1/1 counters on something. Not a bad deal. This thing could go to a pretty sizable creature here. I would probably end up blocking with Toshiro though, so let's just get the 1 damage. Could be relevant, we never know. They don't have 4 mana, so it's not like Wandering Emperor's coming down or anything. They haven't missed a land drop yet, which at this point in the game is actually pretty good for us because the more lands they draw, the better, obviously. Now, a block here would be pretty good with the Mondrak, obviously, because we outpower them, but you know they're probably holding on to something that gives indestructibility and some pluses like Tyvar's Stand. So we're going to just chump block this and force them to play it on something lesser like a Toshiro. Tyvar's Stand is able to give it indestructibility, the hexproof, the whole 9 yards, but it can also pump with X like this, which they just do. So we get them to, you know, waste a pretty good spell. What's in the graveyard? Just a Toshiro, huh? Yeah, definitely gonna play this then. We're gonna, well, forcing them to sacrifice this thing isn't that good. Yeah, this is a really awkward turn here, isn't it? I guess it's the blob. I mean, it's not, it's like super uneventful to drop down a 1/2 blob, but there's really nothing the opponent's threatening me with right now. I gotta send it. Yeah, I gotta send it. We'll chump block with the blobs that we create. We get to create 2 at a time, so it's worth it. All right, so they are gonna blow up the Mondrak. Totally fine. We're only gonna get the 1 blob at a time, but now they're 2 3s. I have a second Mondrak. All good. Yep. And let's force that last indestructible spell out of their hand, or not. They just give up the original creature, which good value for us. We'll take it. All right, second Mondrak is nice, and we have the ability here to not only create double the amount of blobs, but also the ability to bring back Shigeki to get that additional land and fill up the graveyard, making my blobs even bigger, potentially closing out the game next turn. A little bit unlikely, but you never know. All right, here comes the pump spell. Not a problem. At least everything still dies. We make the trades. They get the 1/1 back. No other place from the opponent means they probably have another land in hand. I do feel for them a little bit. That's not great. All right, and we pump up even further. I mean, a Wandering Emperor is just the bee's knees, right? Never even had to use the Gix command. And in this matchup, I really thought that was going to be the case because, you know, Selesnya poison goes pretty wide pretty fast, but this particular build was trying to do more protection stuff, individual protection spells on one creature and getting it through. So not a solid enough game plan to work out. And that will do it. Yeah, that was just a full-on send it play. That creature couldn't have blocked anyway, so GG's. Let's go. I'm having way too much fun with this deck. I've been actually meaning to build this particular deck for quite some time. Haven't quite gotten around to it. We built a similar version of this thing in Esper, and it was a lot of fun with Mondrak and Dollhouse, but I really wanted to add that Ooze and Demon into this deck, and I'm glad we gotten a chance to showcase it today. We're definitely going to keep this. We still haven't gotten the chance to showcase the Demon, though. The Demon is actually really nuts. If we are able to, you know, start stacking some of the tokens that we get and creating, you know, 2 demons at a time for every time a demon sacks something is really, really ridiculous. Okay, so it looks like we're going to run into the exact same matchup we just did. Our hand looks slightly different, and if they're a little bit more aggressive, this could be actually a lot worse than the last game. Depends on what they hit here. A Skrell's Hive early, that's not good. It's not great. All right, let's get the old Rutstein down. Oh, we need that, but again, Shigeki brings back cards, non-legendary. We might be able to pull that back from the yard later. If we can get it back, though, we should be able to close out pretty strong. Let's hope they don't run too many protection spells. Oh, they show us a swamp, I just realized, bringing in Skull Dweller. So more of an Abzan list than anything. All right, still no attacks from the opponent. Love that. And we hit a Shigeki, another chump blocker. Okay. Okay. I think I'm going to go hostile negotiations here. We're going to pass the turn back to the opponent here and go hostile. It's going to hit us for 3, but we're going to get some, hopefully some good toys off the top. 6 cards deep, you know, typically you should be able to find something good. Not necessarily meaning they're going to allow us to have those things, but we can hopefully play some mental games and get what we need. Or I could, you know, streamline the Shigeki, you know, pull it back, get a land, go into the graveyard, specifically grab the Gix command and sweep the board here. But that requires at least 2 plays of setups, and I don't necessarily know if we have that kind of time. So I'm taking a bit of a less aggressive route, or more aggressive route, sorry, more aggressive. Pretty interesting attack step here. Okay, because they're gonna get the +1s. Okay. Alrighty, let's chump block this, take this out. Last chance, last call. Shigeki or hostile negotiations? I think it's the negotiations, though. I think it's negotiations. I'm gonna risk it for a little bit here. That's not good. They're eyeing the old Rutstein here. They go for it. They are able to proliferate and kill the Rutstein. Savage. And I saw a lot of land. Oh, brother. Okay, let's If we turn this face up, 100% we get it. So we got to absolutely turn this face up and hope they give it to us. I don't know why they wouldn't. You got to prioritize giving us the Toshiro. Even though it is a really good killer of most of your things, you got to give me that. You can't give me a face down pile of 3 that you don't know, you know? And they do, thank goodness. That worked out okay-ish. And if we play this, we're able to take out a 1/1 might, which... Okay, not ideal. Or we block, pull Shigeki back, get a land, try to get... I think that might have to be the play, man. Gosh, this is so tough. I should have gone with the first play. I should have pulled back the Shigeki, tried to ramp, do my thing. Because next turn, I would have been sweeping the board. But now, it's going to be another turn after that as well. So, just not the greatest feeling. All right, do one of these. Miss the lands completely. Going up to 6 toxic. Let's go ahead and send away a land here. I'm looking for a command, not finding it though. All right, definitely gonna do a -1/1 on the double strike. Now, consuming blob. That's pretty sweet. I can't lie. That's pretty sweet. And then we follow it up with the demon shortly after is not a bad plan. 6, we block here, here. Let in 2, we go to 8. Couple proliferations, they win, but it's really the only shot we have. I'm gonna go for it. Let's go with the blob play. Let's play down a tap land, say go. Now we get the life of Toshiro to flip over into a 2/3 as well next turn. So the blocks are gonna be high. Like, we're gonna have a lot of blocks. That's a great card to see. We don't care about that. We don't care too much about damage either. We're trying to take out the most important things here, which is definitely going to be these 2. And we let the 2 poison counters get through to 8. The original blob's still kicking and thriving. And we have another blob in the yard we can get back with the cruelty, which is solid. But I also have Dreadfeast Demon. You know what I mean? Dreadfeast Demon is pretty sweet. I gotta do it for the video, right? I mean, I don't necessarily think it's the best play. I think getting another blob is actually the better play, but I gotta do it for the video. So let's go ahead and do this. We prop a 1/6/7, but we're gonna take out the Toshiro, creating another Dreadfeast Demon. And we just gotta hope they can't find 2 poison counters somehow. And a Skrells, oh, that can get them 2 poison counters extremely easily. They just got to pump up one of their creatures. Actually, we've got 2 different colored creatures, so it's not going to be as easily as they might have actually initially thought. That's a very weird attack, I'm not going to lie. I guess to take out one of my creatures, but it's a token that we're going to recoup, so. Huh. Well, that makes things a little easier, I suppose. Let's just get this in. Let's take out the 1/1 might. We're gonna get defenders through the proc of the blob, so, but they could draw something to kill it and get through an attack, but nothing that would, the only thing that would proliferate and kill it is drown, and that's not enough. So I'm gonna send all 3 of these. Might seem kind of strange, but we are gonna get a blocker, so I'm okay with this. And then we'll Shigeki pull back. Where do we pull this? You know what? No. We're going to use the Shigeki as fodder here to sacrifice. All right. Let's go. Let's go. We're doing it. We're doing the thing, guys. We got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Ooh, another close game, though. Edge of my seat on that one. But we pulled it off. It doesn't matter. Let's attack through. Nice. GG's. Very nice. Let's go, man. What a close and fun game that one was. I hope you guys enjoyed that one, man. Let's break this down. That's going to do it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. I do appreciate it very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the deck list. Mondrak has got to be one of my favorite creatures of all time. We're constantly exploiting it over on my channel. If you guys didn't know, my name is Matthew. I go by the name Swayze. So if you enjoyed deck lists like that, be sure to come on over and check out my channel. I'd really appreciate it. But mostly want to give a huge shout out to Magic the Gathering Arena again for having me on their official YouTube channel. So be sure, if you guys don't mind, showing them some love by hitting that like button, subscribe button. That helps out more than you might know. So thank you so much for watching again all the way through. I appreciate you very much, and I hope to see you guys back here again on this channel once more in the future. Until next time, peace out.